So good morning, class. We are done with our previous topic, no? And now let us proceed to our next topic, which is writing memoranda. So writing memoranda or memo as defined by Collins Dictionary is a short official note that is sent by one person to another within the same company or organization to remind the recipient. And it is a clip or shortened term for memorandum. It is one type of business correspondence together with business letters, contracts, certifications, and endorsements, which is written for the purpose of effective management. So we all have encountered memos, right? Usually those memos are notes that is written within the same organization as highlighted in the PowerPoint. So memos are also a type of correspondence along with business letters, contracts and certifications, and etc. Writing effective memorandum is an essential skill, especially for business managers and administrators. If a memorandum is well written, then it may express its message successfully. On the contrary, if memorandum is drafted poorly, it might fail to deliver its purpose and might give negative impressions about the writer. So, usually when we see memorandum, mabantayan nato na it's usually short lang siya, no? Short and concise, and usually one page lang siya. And this is done so in order to fully send out the entire message within just one page lang kanang para ma-deliver mismo sa sender ang kanang correct or straightforward na message towards sa receiver. And if these memos are poorly written, usually it will reflect to the sender and makaingon ang receiver na kanang poor ang writing skills sa sender. So it is really essential for us to write effective memos which are complete and concise. How long should a memo be? So according to Locker 2006, some organizations force writers to be concise by requiring or encouraging one-page memos, as I have mentioned. And in simple situations, a page may be more than you need. In other situations, careful revising and editing may enable you to cut your memo to a page. When you can't get everything on one page, even with careful revision, put the key points on one well-designed page and attach appendices for readers who need more information. Because usually when we try to write memos, we try to shorten it down na kanang dili mapuno ang isa ka page, because usually memos also do not necessarily fill one page. And if we encounter memos na too long siya, it is essential to try to revise it and edit it in order to shorten it down or cut the parts na kanang you think is unnecessary or kanang redundant na siya sa whole message sa imong memo. And personally, what I do is kanang ginabulet na ko ang key points sa akong memo in order to send out the message immediately to the sender para makatch dayon sa sa receiver ang katong makatch dayon atong key points ang attention sa receiver. So Minas et al. 2010 shared two essential facts about inter-office memorandum. First is a good memo passes between departments or between individuals in different departments, between management and the staff, and others. And second is most firms provide printed forms and restrict inter-office correspondence to one subject only in order to encourage conciseness and clarity and to facilitate filing and reference. So, first is kanang the memo should be passed between departments. This department will then pass the memos to the lower areas or between the management. And then in the management, ipasa na po sa management ang memo sa staff. And the second one is that firms or organizations print out their memos para ipasa sa mga employees or everyone So here we have the difference between the memorandums and the letter in terms of characteristic. So their first difference is in destination. So in memorandum, the destination is internal, or the correspondence is written to colleagues within a company. So from one sender to the receiver, which is inside the company lang. Whereas in the letter, it is external, or the correspondence is written outside the business, or could be written outside the business. So the sender could write a letter to the receiver, which is outside the organization. So that is the difference between the two. Just remember na ang memorandum is internal and the letter is external. In terms of format, memorandum is the identification lines include date, to and for, from, subject. So all of those four. So mo to siya ang mag-precede before sa text, and very ano lang siya kanang very short and formal. Whereas in letters, it includes letterhead address, date, reader's address, and salutation, and then text, and then complimentary clause, and then signature. So dagan siya parts, and ano mas kuti siya tan-awon, or mas kuti siya buhaton kaysa sa memorandum. And in terms of the audience, memorandum is generally high-tech or low-tech, or mostly business colleagues. So high-tech or low-tech, or meaning kanang mas abot nimo ang kanang higher nga mga tao sa within the organization, or just between colleagues lang. Moto ang audience, or moto ang kanang makabasa sa imong memo. Whereas in letters, it is generally low-tech and ano lang, lay readers, such as vendors and clients. So in terms of topic, memorandum is generally high-tech to low-tech again, and abbreviations and acronyms are often allowed. So it is often allowed in order to maintain the conciseness in the message. Whereas in letter, it is generally low-tech to lay, and abbreviation and acronyms are usually defined because in order to send out the message entirely in complete form. So another thing is the tone. Usually in memorandum, the tone is informal or peer audience, because ang imong audience lang man is ano lang, imong colleagues, imong kanang same lang og level nimo sa kumpanya. Whereas in letters, the tone is more formal because audience are vendors and clients. So you really have to maintain politeness and courteousness in your tone when you write letters, because dili man nimo ka same level ang receiver, or ang magbasa, ang reader, I mean. So attachments or enclosures. So in memorandum, the hard copy attachments can be stapled to the memo, and complementary copies can be sent to the other readers. Whereas in letters, additional information can be enclosed within the envelope, and complementary copies can be sent to other readers. So in memo, pwede lang siya ma-staple. It really doesn't have to be nga envelope lang siya. It's stapled lang siya, so kanang dili ka siya nga formal. It's not that formal. And whereas in letters, it has to be enclosed within the envelope ang additional information. And the delivery time in memos, it is determined by a company's in-house mail procedure. And memos could be delivered within 3 days or more or less. So medyo fast ang delivery time sa memos, kay within the organization lang man siya, so dali ra. And in letters, it is determined by destination, or within the city, state, or country. And letters could be delivered within 3 days but may take more than a week. And because lagyo naman ang abtanan sa letters, so it could take more than 3 days, as mag-differ siya sa memos. So a memorandum, just like any business the following basic elements. Una is the heading. And most of the time, companies create their own headings. So makita niyo tong heading sa atong pinakauna nga murag usually kanang gi custom na siya, murag mo na siyang official nga makita niyo diha ang logo o ang title or ang name sa kumpanya mo na siya ang heading. That is at the topmost part sa memo. And the date line, the actual date with when the memorandum is issued. So, as stated, mo to siya ang kanang ang date dapat is when that memorandum is issued. Dili kay kung unsa to nga adlaw na abot ang memo sa receiver. So, number refers to the frequency of the issued memos. And the receiver, the person whom the memorandum is to be sent. So mutabo naman siya. And sender, the person who issued the memo, obviously. And the subject, the topic or title of the memo. So you have to fill out the subject or ang title sa imuhang memo. Dito sa imuhang memo, dito apil siya sa after sa sender na. And lastly is the enclosure, and which is an optimal part which includes the attachment. So nana dito pod naka-attach ang other parts sa imong memo nga katong mga details or any other attachments na gusto nimo i-include sa imong memo. So this is an example of memo. And you can see nga na ang una is ang memorandum number, and then ang to which is ang sender, and from which ang to which is sa receiver, ang from is from the sender. The subject which is ang title sa imong memo or ang content sa memo, and then ang date which kung kanus-an na issue ang memo. And then and the structure sa content sa imong memo should be the introduction, the discussion, and then the conclusion. So in writing memorandum, we should take note that there is a subtle difference between using memorandum 4 and memorandum 2. So remember these two. Ang memorandum 4 is usually written by a subordinate addressed to his superior. So from subordinate, ang iyang gina-address is iyang superior. So that is memorandum 4. And ang memorandum 2 is generally comes from the superior addressed to his subordinate. So ang memorandum 4 is from bottom to top. Ang memorandum is from top to bottom. And lastly, we should always remember that letters normally go to people outside your organization, and memos go to other people in your organization. So mo ni siya, ang letter is para sa people outside sa organization, and ang memo is to people inside the organization. So that concludes my topic for today, and thank you for listening.